What's up, guys? Jake with T and Tats. Welcome to another special red dot video. Today I've got the Gowutar EP-20. Gowutar, I don't know how to pronounce it, but you get what I'm saying. They were kind enough to send this red dot out to us for testing and evaluation, and they know, just like you probably know at this point, that anytime we get free stuff like this, we tend to beat the living piss out of it. So today we are going to go over the specs and features of this particular dot, zero it, and then we're going to properly beat the piss out of it. With all that being said, let's see how she does. First shots, 15 or 20 yards from the target, just to kind of get a zero at first. Then once we kind of get it figured out, we'll go ahead and back it up from there. So going over all the specs and features of this particular dot, this actually is an enclosed red dot, meaning the emitter is inside two panes of glass. You've got your outside front-facing glass that the red dot actually reflects off of, but you've also got inside here another pane of glass. So it's nice to kind of keep blood, rain, mud, and shit from getting inside your optic and possibly blocking your emitter. The best part about this dot is it comes in at roughly a price point of $198 on Amazon. Now, one thing I noticed just now looking up the prices, they do have a built-in 20% off discount on Amazon. It's that thing where basically you go to check out, and then when you check out, you'll have to check a little box, and you'll get 20% off. Meaning the price point's going to be probably closer around like 150-ish, 160 maybe, making it probably one of the cheapest enclosed red dots I've seen so far on the market. Now, this is an Acro footprint, which is not that common these days unless you're, well, I guess you're running an Acro. But they did make this Acro footprint. However, they know that a lot of people might prefer other ones, such as RMR, so they do include a couple of plates in the box for you to actually use this on pretty much any slide that you might have, so long as it's RMR or MOS. I know MOS is kind of going out of style now with the Gen 6, but it's nice of them to actually include that in there for you as well. Now, as far as I can tell, this red dot checks all the boxes and all the things that we require of our red dots these days. It's, you know, shockproof, waterproof, all that good stuff, which we'll be happy to test out here in just a second. It uses a CR2032 battery that actually is right here on this side here. As you can see, that's where your huge little nickel battery goes, right there. It does have like shake-awake technology like a lot of red dots do these days, so get on them for that. One thing that's kind of gay, I'll show you this. I'm trying to adjust my elevation. See that? Little flathead. I'm trying to like, hello? Can't quite fit there because of the bulkiness of this back area. I can't, I can barely, there we go. I can barely reach it. There we go. A little bit of a design flaw there, don't you think? You could always use your own little flathead, but I'm just comparing it with the tool that you get. As far as battery life goes, it says in the manual it's anywhere from 160 hours to 50,000 hours. So I imagine it's going to depend on how bright you make your dot. Speaking of which, there's 10 different brightness settings, 3 of which are going to be for night vision. The rest are going to be for daylight use. At the lowest brightness setting, you can't really see it. Well, you can see on the 3rd brightness setting, but it's barely usable. Really, that's meant for low light / night vision. However, on the highest brightness setting, it is completely bright enough to make full use of out here at the range today, even with it being as cloudy as it is today. So, very excited about that. Oh, that was me. I pulled that trigger. Okay, let's just see what we got. So as I said, I first started aiming at the left rubber target. Kind of noticed that it's a little bit down and to the right. Made some adjustments, started shooting the steel in the middle there, just kind of making adjustments there. You can see the target on the right side, about 35 or 40 yards back here. Pretty much all shots are in the top half of the A zone. I did have that one flyer on the left side, just slightly out of the A zone. I think that was kind of me. Went heavy on the trigger, and that was the result. Not too bad. I think that's pretty good. I think we're ready to beat the piss out of it. Now this one is actually the red version. It actually has a 3 MOA dot. It doesn't have the multi-reticle. This is just the regular 3 MOA dot, which honestly I don't mind that either. Lord knows we'll probably come out with one that's multi-reticle here soon, if not already by the time you watch this video. But for now, for today, this is the one that we've got. If you look closely here, this is your elevation, and over here on this side is your windage. You do get 1 MOA adjustments per click. And of course you see it sits nice and tall on my PSA dagger slide here. That is R-Mark cut. Even with that plate in there, I don't think I'll be able to use this dot, at least use the rear sight without even a plate, which is showing you kind of how tall it is. However, hopefully that will result in it being much more durable and rugged for our testing. Behold, the tree of damnation. This is where red dots get to go and get beaten like a hammer hitting a nail. Well, you guys check this out. Of course, we're empty, all that good stuff. We're safe here, ish. But check this out. Let you get where you can see it. So there is my dot. As you can see, just a little bit of damage on the housing, not really much of anything, if at all. The glass on the back is still good, as expected. Can you see my red dot? There it is. As we expect, everything is in good shape. Okay, let's see what we got here. So I shot the target on that's hidden behind that tree a little bit there, and you can kind of see most of my shots were in the top half of the A zone. I did have a couple of flares go off to the far right, about 30, 35-ish yards, whatever. Not too bad. Did lose zero just a little bit, possibly, but could have been user error as well. I think at this point, the next best thing is just to go on to the brick of damnation. Now, before we actually start the brick of damnation, we are going to do the water test. This is where I basically pour water onto the back pane of glass. I do this because I want to see if it's going to leak or if it's going to possibly fog up. A lot of times with these budget-friendly enclosed red dots like this one, we will see that it's not properly purged of all moisture, and it will result in some condensation. I recently got an injury at the gym, so I'm not able to really lift stuff with my left hand like that, even that water bottle, which kind of sucks. But we'll let you get in here and see if it's going to fog up. We should see it, usually by now at least. There is no fogging up. There is a slight smudge on the glass. That's me when I was trying to get dust off earlier. It was there prior to this exercise, but you'll see there's no fogging up of the glass. Behold, the brick of damnation. This is where red dots like this come to live or die. This is where we take an unloaded gun like this, take a fully loaded magazine like this, we put it in here, and then we drop it from about chest high to see if it holds zero or survives for that matter. And 3, 2, 1. 4. 10. All right, guys, I will let you see for yourself. Man, this thing, this thing did really good. Check this out. There's our red dot. As you can see, it's taken quite a beating. The glass is still good. The back pane of glass is still good. You can kind of see the red dot there. It still works. Yeah, it still works. You just can't really see because it's kind of bright out here. and cameras are kind of weird. But I mean, it's all still very much intact. Now, do we expect you to do this to your red dot? No, obviously not, but it is our belief, our philosophy, that durability comes on a spectrum, much like autism. From what I've experienced, a lot of times higher prices don't necessarily mean better durability. This is an example of that. As you can see, for a red dot that is $150 some odd after the 20% discount on Amazon, this one's not cracked or had any problems. Let's see if it actually held 0. I will say this. I want to bring this to your attention. This got a little bit loose. Like the red dot and the mounting plate got a little bit loose on the slide here from the drops. Both are a little bit loose. I'm going to go ahead and tighten the red dot to the mounting plate, but the mounting plate's still a little bit loose, so it may affect our 0. Let's find out. Little hiccup there on my part. The bullet jammed up there. Now my gun's jamming. Uh-oh. Malfunction drill. All right. So let you see what we got here. As expected, it did shift to the right. Again, the red dot is a little bit loose on the slide now. Or rather, the mounting plate is a little bit loose on the slide. I did retighten the red dot to the mounting plate. So, as you can possibly expect, our 0 did shift a little bit to the right because of the fact that the mounting plate is now loose. Odds are you're not going to have this problem. The fact is, this freaking survived a hell of a lot of abuse today. And you can always retighten your mounting plate and red dot anyway. It's not a big deal. All right, got a little wind action here. Very nice. All right, so my thoughts on the Gowutar EP-20. I think that this dot survived the test, and for that right there, I think it's definitely worth your money. It lost a little bit of 0 from the, I think, that tree of damnation, and then it lost a whole lot of 0 from the brick of damnation. Mainly because, again, the mounting plate, the part that goes and connects the red dot to the slide, is now loose. Now, I could take this red dot off. I could go back in there and retighten that mounting plate to the slide, and then go back and retighten the red dot to the mounting plate. But then at that point, I'm going to lose 0 completely and have to re-zero the red dot altogether. That's just kind of how it goes. Do I expect you guys to do this to your EP-20s? Absolutely not. We do this to kind of show you just how much abuse and torture stuff like this can really handle. And I think because of this test, because of the condition it's in right now, I think it more than passes. We've done this test with a lot of different red dots. And as you can imagine, a lot of the red dots don't survive the brick of damnation. We've even had some not survive the tree of damnation. And have shattered on that, surprisingly. So for the fact that this comes in under 200 bucks, again, 150-ish with that Amazon 20% off, I think this is a hell of a good deal. My only kind of gripes I really have are the battery life isn't really specified that well. You know, a range of 160 on the brightest setting versus 50,000 hours on the lowest setting. Kind of like to have that a little bit more explained. I also don't like how this elevation right here is so flipping close. You know, like there's no real room to get in there and use the tool that they give you. Mind you, this tool right here is what they give you. Well, it kind of gets in the way. You get what I'm saying? Other than that, though, I think it's good to go. And I like it. And for that, I think you will like it too. Guys, that's going to wrap today. If you're just kind of content, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. What do you think about the EP-20 from Gowutar? I'd love to hear from you. We will see you next time.